Alright YouTube, this is Tuesday back with my 2 cents on Octopath Traveler, and today we're going to talk about the tournament that's going to come up. We're a couple weeks away yet, but I'm actually going to be gone for a good portion of September, probably about a week and a half there, so I'm trying to get kind of some prep work done here for you guys, because I know you're going to be struggling with this, because I think it's probably going to be the hardest content we're going to have seen to date. And I just want to give you guys a good time just to kind of prep beforehand, and you might even be prepping for, a week or two afterwards. Anyway, let's get into the video. So as we can see from our kind of roadmap here, that the Tikilen Cup is going to be in September, just a little ways into it. So I'm anticipating it'll be about the 7th of September, that Wednesday when we would normally get updates. Is probably when we're going to see it. So what is the Tikilen Cup? Well, it's going to be a series of fights in kind of a tournament fashion, in which, as we win, we'll progress up into being able to fight the tournament champion, which in this case is Tikilen. So if we're able to defeat her, then she will come onto our team. So we'll basically get a free 5-star unit this way. So it's really great in that. However, there is, a lot of kind of prep work that's going to need to go into this, or just, the strength of your team. You're going to have to kind of plan. You're going to have to play with it a little bit. So let's kind of get into some tips and some planning. And I'm going to say, hey, if you wanted to go into this without any sort of spoilers and just kind of discover it on your own, now is the time to leave the video. So the rest of this video, going to be some spoilers. But I do have a speculation on who the next unit's going to be coming out. Just kind of heard from the rumor mill. So stick around for that if you're interested. All right, and for my first tip, and probably the best tip I'm going to have here, is really just don't sweat it. This event should be a permanent stay, and so you should be able to kind of go in and be able to defeat Tikilen and be able to get her on your team, a month after the event or 2 months after the event. And it might actually take some of us that long, maybe especially my account, because I'm pretty limited on the amount of units I have. I only have 3 different 5-star units, and only really one of my 5-star units is actually going to be good for this event. So take that with a grain of salt and just kind of say, hey, you know what? It's okay if I don't defeat this right away. So I just don't want people to have the expectation that day one they're going to go in there and clear this, because I think that's not going to be true for the majority of players. Alright, so here's where the real kind of spoilers are, and if you stayed to this point and you didn't want to know, I'm so sorry, I warned you. So basically our in-fight here with Tikilen, the fights leading up to it, you're kind of on your own, but this is going to be the main one and the hardest one, so I'm focusing on that. She's actually going to come with 2 kind of helper units in the front. You can see, their kind of shield values there, and you can see their weaknesses. The front, is going to have that kind of spear, bow, electric damage, and light damage is going to be their weaknesses there. And she's going to be bow, fan, and light. So obviously you can kind of think in your head, okay, what kind of teams can I possibly kind of make with the group I have to kind of fill these weaknesses to be able to, break these units and get them gone. So definitely I think the strategy for this fight is to take out these first front 2 units and then, focus on Tikilen in the back. But you're going to need to get these 2 out of the way first to be able to do that. Okay, so here's just kind of a list of some of the possible units that you might use. Really, I'm going to say the MVP out of all this is probably Scarecrow. He's going to have access to that 4x fan and 4x light, which is just going to be good for clearing both the front and the back units. Both Tikilen and her kind of ads there. So I think he's going to be really nice as that kind of bow unit to have. If you don't have him, it's okay. We have some other resources here. Primrose, Lynette. There's probably a reason that we've been getting a couple of these fan units to kind of help out. The ones highlighted in green, these are 4 stars. In case you have them, they might be able to kind of fill in a role or a slot for an area that you don't have. Because the rest of these, the other 6 on here, are all 5-star units, in which I have none of those. So the only guy I have currently that I think is going to be helpful is Theo. So my healer list, I didn't put the healers on here. This is just for the enemy weaknesses. So you're looking at the ads there: Theresa, Tressa, Gilderoy, we kind of got the spear and the lightning attacks there to kind of weaken up the front there. And then for Tikilen herself, we got Primrose and Lynette just, for those buffs and the fan damage that they can put out towards her. So it might be where you kind of have one team of like 3 that are really just focused on the ads, and then another team of 3 that can swap in to take on Tikilen towards the end there. And then you kind of have another 2 units that are just primarily your buffers or healers that you're definitely going to need for this fight. I also think that when you're gauging of how leveled up and strong your units need to be, I'm going to throw out a number out there, and I'm sure somebody's going to say you need higher than that and you need lower than that, and there'll probably be 2 people arguing about it in the comments. But I kind of think you need to have about 2k HP on each of your units to kind of be able to sustain these hits and to reasonably be able to heal them back up. I think if you have less than 2k HP, you're just going to be too susceptible to losing units without a chance to heal them. So if that's kind of how you're kind of gauging where you want to be with that, I use Iris right now. She's my only fan unit, and she's, I think, at like 1897 or something like that. So I know that by the time this comes around, I'm going to have her leveled up to the point where she's got a little bit more HP on her. So anyway, let's move on to my speculation of the next unit. Alright, word on the street is that Hatsume is going to be the next unit coming out. Credit to, I kind of heard this from Caps over in his video, so definitely check that out over there with his tier list he just came out with. But also, when she comes out, we'll kind of do a full review of whether or not I think you should pull for. But if you're looking at her kind of skills right here that I highlighted, she's going to be really good for this particular tournament with 3 times fan, 3 times light, front row, defense and magic defense up, as well as an SP regen that she can put on. So she would definitely be really great for this tournament. But like I said, when she is officially announced, that's when we'll kind of go through and whether or not she's worth your rubies to pull. Anyway, I hope this kind of helps you with your tournament prepping, and that's been my 2 cents.